Hi, my name's Hayley and I work in Student Services. Today I'm going to be talking you through student funding for 2020. Our main role is to support students before they arrive at Keele and for the duration of their studies. We can help with things like budget management, applications to our University Hardship Fund, which we'll come back to later, and supporting students with debt. We like to take part in lots of proactive campaigning to educate and inform our students, and we take part in events such as National Student Money Week every year. Many students will take out government financial support to help them pay for their degree. This video is a short explanation of what is available.
Students at uni or college have two main costs: tuition fees and living costs. The good news is that there's lots of financial help available to help pay for these. There's a tuition fee loan to cover fees and a loan to help pay for living costs, such as rent, books or travel. As with any other loan, these have to be repaid. The difference here is that student loans don't have to be paid back until the student has finished or left their course and their income is over a certain amount of money. The amount repaid each month will be based on their income, not how much they borrowed. Interest will be charged from the day the first student finance payment is made to the student until the loan is repaid in full or cancelled. There's also extra financial help available for students with a disability or students who have children or an adult who depends on them financially. Unlike loans, these don't usually have to be paid back.
So as the video explained, there's a tuition fee loan available to cover the cost of your course and a maintenance loan to cover your living costs. But what do we mean by this? So these will include things like accommodation, food, travel and entertainment, and they will vary depending on your circumstances. For example, if you live at home where you study, you may not have rent to pay. Generally, we'd say to a single student living in rented accommodation that you will need around £70 to £80 a week for living costs on top of your rent. There's extra support available for NHS students at nhsbsa.co.uk. This table shows you the difference between a Premier Ensuite room and a standard room over a 37-week contract. We've included some extra things that students tend to forget when budgeting, such as photocopying, TV licence and phone bills. You can see we've also broke this down into a weekly and yearly total to help you think about how you may budget. This table shows the maintenance loan rates for 2020-21 for students that live away from home and outside of London. As you can see on the left-hand side, the income is broken down, and on the right-hand side is the corresponding loan that you may be able to borrow. The standard amount that all students can borrow is £4,289. If this is then means tested, it can go anywhere up to the maximum of £9,203. For example, if your household income is £25,000 or below, you would be eligible for the maximum loan of 9203. If your household income is around £40,000, then you'll receive £7,225. If your household income is over £62,000, then you'll receive the non-means tested amount of £4,289. This table is exactly the same, except it's for students that choose to live at home while they study. Again, on the left-hand side is household income, and on the right-hand side is the loan for living costs. The only difference here is the amounts are slightly lower. There's a really useful online calculator that you can have a look at to calculate how much maintenance loan you may be entitled to. You can find this on the gov.uk web pages. There are various other forms of government support available. When you apply for your funding, you'll be asked several questions to see whether you're entitled to any of the following: childcare grant, parental learning allowance, adult dependence grants, and disabled students allowance. There are also bursaries and grants for looked after children. If you feel like you want any more information about these, please do feel free to get in contact with us. You may have heard that there's been some changes to the NHS funding for 2020 onwards. Additional funding support means that all eligible students starting university in England will receive at least £5,000 bursary from the NHS. There will also be additional payments of up to £3,000 for students that own regions or specialisms struggling to recruit, or to help students cover childcare costs. Students studying certain courses will receive an additional £1,000 a year to prioritise shortage groups, and these are highlighted in blue below. It's important to note that at the moment you can't apply for this funding, and more information will become available shortly. You can apply for your funding now at gov.uk/student finance. The whole application is made online, and you apply for the tuition fee loan and maintenance loan in one form. Please don't put off applying for funding until you've chosen which university you'll be going to or heard back from all of your choices. You can change your university or course at any time by logging into your online accounts, and you can do this any day up until the start of your course. Similarly, if you got to August and you decided that you didn't want to go to university and you'd already applied for your funding, you can just call up and cancel that application. You are classed as dependent by Student Finance until you are age 25. If you are younger than that and can prove that you've lived independently for 3 years or more, then they will class you as an independent student. This next clip is by Martin Lewis, money saving expert, and here he will explain interest and repayment for student loans.
How much typically does it cost to go to university in England? And we're talking today about the English student finance system that started in 2012. So how much does it cost to go? Anyone? Yeah, how?
£9,000 a year.
£9,000 a year. Anyone else? Not quite? Yeah.
9,250.
9,250 is the cost of tuition fees. How much to go to university on a 3-year course? 27,000 or 27,750 if you want to do. No. Yeah.
50k.
Oh, fascinating that you say that. Wrong. Anyone else? Would you like to know the answer? Yeah. How much it's going to cost you? I don't know. This is really important. When people talk about the cost of university, and your 50,000 figure is sort of getting in the ballpark that people talk about. You could argue it's 60,000 now. It's got 9,250 a year times 3 is 27,750. There's also a living loan that we're going to talk about later. In other words, how do you afford to live when you're there? If you've got the maximum London living loan, living away from home, plus 9,250 on a 3-year course, you're talking nearly £60,000. A lot of money? But here's the point. That number, for the vast majority of you, is completely meaningless. The weird thing in student finance is the price tag, the amount they say it costs, £60,000, is completely delinked from what you'll actually pay. And what really counts is what you'll actually pay. And I can tell you that the actual cost of you going to university will be somewhere between nothing and about 150 grand. And what does it depend on? Does anyone know? What's the key factor? Yeah.
How much you're earning?
How much you earn when you leave university. This is all about that. Do you know how much you repay?
I think it's if you're earning like 20-something thousand after that.
You repay 9% of everything you earn over currently £25,725 a year. 9% of everything you earn over £25,700-ish, and that figure will go up each year. So let's do a simple sum. Who's good at maths in here? We've got some volunteers. Well, okay, we'll do here. Here you go, you're ready. So, if you earned £26,725 a year, how much above the £25,725 a year threshold is that?
1,000.
1,000. 9% of 1,000 is?
90.
90. So if you earn £26,725 a year, you're repaying £90 a year. Someone else, another volunteer? Yes, right. If you earn £35,725 a year, how much above £25,725 a year is that?
10,000.
10,000, 9% of 10,000 is?
£900.
£900. So, at 26,700 odd quid, it's £90 a year. At 35,700 odd quid, it's £900 a year. If you earned £125,725, it'd be £9,000 a year. What you repay is in direct proportion to what you earn. If you earn £24,000 a year, how much do you repay? Nothing. Nothing. So you're starting to hear the language of how this really works.
We'll now move on to look at Keele scholarships and bursaries. The Keele bursary is worth £1,000 a year, subject to terms and conditions. To be eligible, you need to have a household income of £20,000 or below and be verified by Student Finance. No application is required. We'll email you to let you know, and payment is normally made at the end of February. The Keele University Hardship Fund is a discretionary fund available to all students experiencing financial hardship. Students can get an application from the Student Services Centre or download it from our web pages. Part of the application process is that students would need to register with our partner platform Black Bullion and complete the short module on budgeting. There are various other bursaries available to students while they're studying at Keele. The Study Abroad bursary is £1,000 a year, and this is advertised during first year. There's a Care Leavers and Estranged Students bursary, and various other external funding opportunities are publicised on our web pages, so make sure you keep checking for news at keele.ac.uk/student funding. Now is a really good time to start thinking about further sources of support. Many of our students will work part-time while they study, either in evenings, weekends or holidays. If you currently work in a supermarket chain or likewise, see if you can get a transfer to a more local one. You might be lucky enough that your family will be able to support you. If you currently receive benefits, make sure you check these as they may change once you become a student. And also your bank. Look into the various chains of banks and see what offers they make for student accounts. Some will offer 0% interest fees on overdrafts, but make sure you read the terms and conditions. There's a really good review of these on Martin Lewis Money Saving Expert. The Student Room is a really useful resource for students and parents.
Have you visited Student Finance England's official zone on the Student Room recently? The new and improved zone is a dedicated place for all things student finance, and it's now easier than ever to find what you need. Whether you're a full-time, part-time or postgraduate student, the Student Finance Zone has all the information and resources you need to help you understand the application process. There are step-by-step guides that walk you through what finance is available, how to apply, and when you'll repay, and films that answer the most frequently asked student finance questions. We update the zone regularly with important news on application launch and deadline dates, so don't forget to bookmark the page and check back often. There are also regular student finance surgeries where you can have your questions answered by our experts on topics like applying for finance and repaying, or you can ask other students about their experiences in the forums. There's even information and guidance specifically for parents who want to know more about the student finance process. And when you're ready to apply, there's also a link straight through to the online application. It couldn't be easier. Whether you're thinking about studying, already a student, or the parent of a student, Student Finance England's official zone has everything you'll ever need to help you understand and apply for student finance. So visit today.
Here is a list of useful links. Thanks for watching our presentation. Please feel free to get in contact if you've got any questions at all.